The sunset was 3 hours ago. Why doesn't it get dark? Hi, I'm Uwe Lillas of Nordland Aurora. Today I'm gonna tell you why it's not dark at night in the Nordic countries in the summer. Like Finland, Sweden, Norway, Iceland. If you have heard about the light summer nights, or maybe you have even experienced them, you may have wondered, why doesn't it get dark although the sun went down? It's actually light throughout the night. And of course, north of the Arctic Circle, there are nights when the sun doesn't set at all. I'll touch on that a little later. First, imagine that you're standing on a giant field. It is so big that you cannot see the edge of it. And there is nothing to block the view. The only thing you see is that field. There are no hills or mountains or forests or buildings or anything. Everything you see is represented by this disk. It forms a circle around you. Now, from our perspective, living on a planet that spins around its own axis, the sun appears to create a path that's circular from our perspective. This wire here represents the sun's circular path as it appears to us. Now, if this field is close to the equator, the sun will rise quite steeply, almost straight up, with a little variation, and it will pass over your head and it will set pretty much straight down, and it will be dark very soon after sunset. Now, the further north you go, the more, or south for that matter, the further away from the equator, the more this circular path of the sun will be tilted. Now, if we're talking about September or March, the equinoxes, the sun will be above the horizon for 12 hours and it will be below the horizon for 12 hours, no matter where on Earth you are. But the path will be tilted further north. However, in the summer, when the Earth, because of the tilt of its axis, leans towards the sun, this path of the sun will appear as if it is lifted up. It's no longer 12 hours up and 12 hours down. It is actually lifted up like this. So the sun will be above the horizon for many more hours than it will be below the horizon. Where I live, we have actually no more than 4 hours with the sun being below the horizon in June. But the sun is never very far away below the horizon. You can see that the sun just barely gets below the horizon and travels close to the horizon before it rises again. The sun will actually light up the atmosphere so that the night sky will be light throughout the night, even though the sun is below the horizon. And if you move further north to the Arctic Circle, there are nights when the sun doesn't set at all, as I said. And that's because this ring is lifted even more, so there is no sunset. The further north you go from there, the more nights with no sunset at all. The midnight sun is shining. I hope you learn more about the light Nordic summer nights in this video. I'm Uwe Lillas, the Aurora photographer.